last week, it was announced that Cardinal Robert Prevost of Chicago, Illinois, who was the 267th Pope Leo XIV. Now, while everyone's talked about his Chicago roots, the fact that he knows sport, now he knows ball, they've all made observations. I just want to make up and talk about something I've thought about myself in the past couple of weeks. 1, he's heard at least one song from Graduation. 2, he has a soft spot for Ozzie Guillen. 3, he has probably seen at least one KD hate tweet. 4, he's probably been at his computer late at night thinking about donating to Villanova NIL after a really good win. 5, probably knows who Morgan Ensberg is. And this one's been talked about for 6. He's heard of King Von, and he knows where Aeroblock is. And 7, he's at least heard one Chief Keef song. Welcome to the Moonstam Cast. This is the Habemus Papam to my, I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish, Brian. Brian, how are you?
That was a hell of a list. Also, you could add knows who Jeff Blum is. Absolutely knows who Jeff Blum is.
Oh, I also forgot to add one that he knows who John Rothstein is and knows the bit and saw the tweet after he became Pope with him talking about Mark Pope in Kentucky basketball.
Brilliant.
So welcome to the Moonstam Cast. Brian, I do want to talk to you about the Pope a little bit.
Uh-oh.
As you actually have a Notre Dame shirt on. Is that the most phenomenal blown lead of all time by Notre Dame there? When I think of Catholic universities, I think of Notre Dame first. Never thought about Villanova, never thought about any Big East school. And now when I think of Catholic universities, it has to be Villanova. Notre Dame's out.
Oh, no. Oh, don't take that away from me, Jorden. Oh, God.
Listen. If there's one thing I know.
Don't make it more appealing to recruits to go to because they don't have to worry about the religious side of a university. No.
I mean, to be fair, I think Marcus Freeman is pretty much has that dominated.
I want him to have a lifetime contract.
Well, he also is he's relatively religious now, and I think he still makes them go to mass. So I don't think that's going away. It's just, when I thought of Catholic university, there's the University of St. Thomas in Houston, which is a Catholic university. If you ask me, name a Catholic university, not saying that, not saying like the Catholic University of America in DC, I think of Notre Dame. So I just want to put it out there. Maybe a bad year so far with losing the national championship and losing the Pope ship, the first American Pope ship to another school, which I do want to talk about that a little bit. The fact that they brought up the 2005 World Series, which was 10-year-old Jordan's, worst possible nightmare. I don't think I wanted to do it. I think I cried going to school the day after the sweep happened.
I didn't go to school the day after.
I think my teachers all talked to me. They're like, "Are you okay?" And usually that's reserved for a child who loses a parent or a grandparent. And they're talking to me like I've lost a parent or a grandparent. But it's really just the Astros got swept in the World Series. That's how big of a fan I was. That's how much I talked about it. Also, that video of Pope Leo XIV at the World Series. Adam Everett's up to bat. Name I haven't heard in a long ass time.
Defensive shortstop, could not do shit with his bat. That was my summary of Adam Everett's career. I think he was like a career 230 hitter. We did not have it. He was a hell of a. I don't have this all in front of me. I don't have this memorized. I think he won a couple Gold Gloves, but he wasn't a bat at all. Unlike Jeremy Pena.
Well, yes, that's a great transition, which I want to get to in a second. I do want to talk about some Pope stuff a little bit more.
Go ahead.
I do also quickly. My boss brought up to me. He's like, "What was y'all's rotation for 2005?" We had Roger Clemens, Andy Pettit, and Roy Oswalt. How did we not dominate that series? Is the question. I know we were favorites going into it.
Chad Qualls in the pen.
Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in forever.
My brother-in-law brought that up. We were watching the Astros game on Mother's Day, and it was the Guess the Astro, and it said something about 2005, and he was like, "Wow, this feels like a Chad Qualls answer." And I was getting my steps in the kitchen, just walking around the island, and I stopped, and I was like, "Fucking flashbang! I haven't heard about Chad Qualls in a long time."
My other one I like to pull out of my hat is Willie Tavares every once in a while, just because I think he went and played for the Royals afterwards or the Rockies.
Willie Tavares threw Craig Biggio out at second base for his 3,000 hit.
Is that who did that?
I'm 90% sure, 99% sure, because I remember that's a fun fact I have in my back pocket. I won't swear to it though.
I feel like that's one of those things where, if you're boys, you just kind of miss the throw a little bit. Listen.
Well, it's still counted as a base.
It's still counted as a base, but let him, let him have that at least. I'm not gonna. It's still counted as a hit, but I'm not gonna fight it. I had another. Oh yeah, Jason Lane also is one I like to pull out of my pocket, who threw for the Skeeters for like I think
Jason
like
Lane, right field. Yeah,
right. I mean, he was not a good. I don't remember him being a great player, but I remember him.
he had a decent bat.
Just quickly, the Pope also probably has thoughts on Dan Hurley and the way he coaches because he's a Big East guy. I would like to hear the Pope's thoughts on Dan Hurley at some point. I made the joke to you when we thought that he was a Cubs fan. Do you think the 2016 World Series or becoming Pope was better for him? Now I have the answer, which is the 2016 Natty, because he was a Nova grad, is better in every single possible way. Because I went back and watched that. I forgot how great it was. Like, I remember how great it was, but watching it again. Also, I realized I missed college basketball watching that. Third, there's a chance that His Holiness, Pope Leo XIV, the leader of the Catholic Church, is deeply invested in Ben Johnson's development of Caleb Williams, which is a storyline that I don't think I'd ever imagine. So that's all my Pope talk right there. Just crazy sports things that, again, I think I mentioned to you, there's like a non-zero chance he goes on PMT at some point. Will he? Probably not.
There's a non-zero chance. It was Willis Tavares, by the way. That's what I was looking up.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that. That's a trivia question right there to have in your back. I remember when we went to trivia and we were like talking about we were the sports guys, and it was like, how many Super Bowls have the Saints won? That's what trivia needs to be. Real questions, real ball knower questions. Just transition to ball knower. Jeremy Pena rocks at batting right now.
Dude, did you know Pena and Paredes have a higher WAR than Kyle Tucker does right now?
Do they?
As of recording?
Recording?
Because awesome. Kyle Tucker for the past 2 weeks has been batting like 143 or some shit. And he had a very hot start out of the gate, hot month, and then the past 2 to 3 weeks have been pretty average. But that's not a slight at Kyle Tucker. He's still going to put up 35 home runs. He's still going to slash around 300. He's going to be great. I'm just saying right now, Paredes and Pena have a higher WAR than him, which is incredible.
Welcome to the real Kyle Tucker show, which is he has those flashes of brilliance, and then you remember that he's sometimes average. I didn't want to say that you mentioned Paredes and Pena. You know who's also having a great time for the Astros right now? Jake Myers. Jake Myers agenda has finally come to fruition.
I believe in Jake Myers. I was late on the train into the Jake Myers train. I thought we should have had Chas McCormick as our starting center fielder starting last year, full-time center fielder. And the spot I went with Jake Myers, and that was the correct decision last year, and it seems to be the correct decision this year. Man, he's had a hell of a season, which we need right now. We're injured. Altuve's got a hammy. And Alvarez has a shoulder. I won't swear to that one, but Alvarez is out. Altuve is out. If we need the guys to step up, and Pena, Paredes, and Jake Myers have certainly done their parts.
If we know anything about Astros injuries, it's that they'll come back in about 7 months, even though they tell us a couple of weeks. I did want to give you some stats, Brian. Jake Myers has a 1.4 WAR and a 308 batting average, which is the highest on the team. He's not the best hitter on the team. Actually, Paredes is by some other, you have an OPS plus stats. Paredes stats, something I want to draw on that's crazy. He's had 26 walks this season, which is just an insane amount of walks. That man has an eye. He has vision. He has a 3.
That was part of the reason why they went after Paredes and went after Christian Walker, was because we were the highest strikeout in the top 5 strikeouts every single year. And they were like, we want patient hitters. We want patient pull power hitters. And that's what those two are.
Christian Walker is not helping that. He has, I think, like 48 strikeouts right now as a recording.
Yes, but he's still better than what we had at first base for a while. Like, he's not putting up great numbers. I think he's going to be okay long term. It's been a month and a half. We played this game with oh gosh, I wiped his name out of my head. Abreu. Yeah. Jose Abreu. We played this game before about just wait. He is slashing better than Abreu was slashing for a while at the beginning. And I think he's going to be okay. I think once he starts, I don't know. I'm nervous. This is nervousness talking. Just trying to convince myself. I
mean, to be fair, I think 8-year-old me playing at the YMCA coach pitch would hit better than Jose Abreu. I better slashing numbers than Jose Abreu. That's like asking, can you have debate a rock? Hopefully the answer is yes. But for Paredes, he has the 333 on base percentage, which, to quote the best baseball movie of all time, he gets on base, and that's what matters. So the Astros, I'm feeling good about the Astros right now. I know they're third in the AL West, which also the AL West, the top 14. I mean, I would say top 4 teams.
Back.
That's 80% of the teams are like clustered together there in the middle. The Angels are at the back as per usual. But I am so glad we're in this division and not like something like the, I think it was what the NL Central right now, which is, it's crazy. We played the White Sox, the Royals, and I think what else? Oh, we played the Tigers, which are all NL Central or AL Central teams, and they're all, I mean, other than the White Sox still got us.
They won the series.
They won the series. They won 2 for 3. We're playing a lot of AL Central teams, which gives me hope as we go into other series against teams who are worse teams and also from worse divisions that will do better against them. We just had like a surprisingly stacked first kind of month and a half or so of teams to play. We're going to the Rangers, I think, tonight or tomorrow night. As of Wednesday, I don't know.
I think this is the first Rivals weekend, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah. There's
some weird teams in there, by the way. It's like, I think it's Braves Pirates or something like that, or Phillies Pirates or something. It's just like, a daunting rivalry.
The Pirates rivals themselves right now. The Pirates rivals their ownership right now, who apparently makes the most money in the MLB or has like the highest profit in the MLB and does not reinvest it in the team, which is pretty obvious if you've ever watched the Pirates play other than Paul Skeens at this point. They also like as an incident where an employee got fired for whipping a fan with a belt. I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh, but I don't think they should not be playing the rivalry weekend should be against apparently people who also work the stadium, also the ownership. So I don't know.
I got 3 pitching notes for the Astros before we get too far away from it. Lance McCullers Jr. had a very bad outing. It was not great. 7 earned runs, got through a third of an inning. I think he'll be okay, or I'm praying that he'll be okay. He's not injured. We won't touch on it very much because everything that could have been said has been said, and everyone is in agreement. Don't fucking threaten players. That's insane. Especially don't threaten their families either. Especially their families. But
what an absolute dweeb move to do.
Oh yeah.
Like to go on. Like, listen, I'm not a big online hater. Like, I think maybe sometimes people should get online hate for being horrible people. But in general, don't go hate on people on the internet, especially if you're a faceless account. Like, that's just a dweeb move. Like, it's like pickpockets. I don't know if you've been on TikTok pickpocket accounts, where like, I think there was a Chinese citizen who basically like scarred a Spanish pickpocket thief for life. He put him like a chokehold for less than like 5 or 7 minutes. And I think an American tried to beat the shit out of a pickpocket. Say it to my face. If you're gonna say shit about me and say shit about like Lance McCullers Jr., say it to his face. At least go wait by the entrance or the tunnel where the players leave with their cars and say it to his face. So absolute dweeb move. With that said, I was right about Lance McCullers Jr., but I won't say that too loudly.
I mean, we're 2 starts in. Okay, no. We'll see. The experiment continues. I have drastically less hope than I did, but I just hope it goes better, and I hope this is not an event that gets in his head and then it just crumbles. But the other side of the spectrum, Hunter Brown is so fucking good. Holy shit! I think he's top 3 currently for pitching award. Damn it,
Cy Young.
Cy Young. Thank you. AL Cy Young. I think he's number 3. He might be number 4, but he's looked so good out of the gate, and I hope it continues. He looks like a young Verlander with his mechanics too. His counterpart, though, our other young gun, I'm waiting for an update on him. I really want Aaron Getty back. I really, really want Aaron Getty back. He had a lot of promising stuff last year. He showed some promise this year. Broke a thumb on a freak accident, not throwing blame, and it's also I think it's on his pitching hand. So I want that fully recovered before he comes back. But last I saw a couple days ago, there was not an update on him, and I want my boy back. I want Aaron Getty Spaghetti back.
I mean, I made the joke earlier in the podcast already. The Astros injury timelines are probably a little bit more, somehow less accurate than, I don't know, the weather forecast when it comes to us golfing. Sure. The greens are wet, but it's a nice sunny day outside. So yeah, no, I don't trust an Astros injury report as far as I can throw it after the Kyle Tucker incident of the 2024 and those before that. On Hunter Brown, I've made the case last week that I think you should put money on him being your AL Cy Young winner. Now, is that a little far-fetched? Maybe, but I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy. Again, I looked it up this past week. He's still leading in home runs over 9 innings. He's also leading in wins right now. So he is killing it. I think he's like fourth in ERA or something, but still like in the ones. I mean, I think he still has his lowest walks percentage of his entire career right now. By again, dropped by like 3%, which is crazy. I don't know what he did in the offseason. I don't know if I don't know what he did in the offseason, but he did something right in the offseason. So I am still AL Cy Young winner, Hunter Brown. Book market. I'll save this clip and then just put like it in Sequoia whenever he wins in October.
And I have one last baseball note, and that's the Tigers, Astros, and Cubs all hit walk-offs within 4 minutes of each other last night. We're recording on Wednesday, so on Tuesday night, they all hit walk-offs within 4 minutes of each other, which is pretty cool. That MLB account was like, boom, cool walk off to send out, boom, cool walk off to send out, boom, cool walk off to send out. And I think their engagement must have been high because it's always high, but that's pretty cool that they can send out 3 and 4 minutes.
Speaking of also, I don't know why the Cubs in the MLB account brought it up for me. Apparently, this was one of the highest weekends for gambling when it comes to futures because of the Pope. So everyone's putting money on the Bears, the White Sox, and Villanova to win National World Series, Super Bowls, National Championships. That made me think of that. I do have a few more baseball notes if you want to talk about this. The commissioner announced that you're no longer blacklisted from the Hall of Fame if you're dead. So that means Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson are back on the menu. I don't think that's a terrible thing for baseball. I do think that's good for baseball. Just because, like, I've said this before, and I'll clip it. I think the baseball writers of America, most of them are dweebs. That's not to say
the worst.
Yeah, there's that one guy who like every year turns into blank ballot because like Lou Gehrig isn't on the ballot every year anymore because he's in the Hall of Fame and that was the 30s.
The fucking nerd that didn't vote for Ichiro Suzuki is the worst.
I have a vague conspiracy that it's been presented to me, and no one else has presented it to themselves, is that Mariano Rivera has been voting against people. And I don't really know if he can. I don't know how it works.
I don't think he has a vote.
Okay, well, if he doesn't have a vote, but that was what was presented to me. Is that
if he does, though, wouldn't surprise me.
He's voting against. He's the one voting against, like, Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera. These guys who are like locks, like pure locks, should be first ballot, unanimous Hall of Fame guys. He's voting against him, so he's the only guy ever to have that happen in like the 21st century. With that said, I think baseball writers are dweebs. I think a lot of guys who vote for their like old heads who have like they see the word war and they go off like a boomer at a McDonald's kiosk. They just don't understand the technology and it doesn't make sense to them. So I am very now. Do I think Pete Rose is a good person? Of course not. I don't think anyone does. At the same time, he was a great baseball player. It's one of those you separate the art from the artist when it comes to the Hall of Fame. I don't really. I've always been like a Shoeless Joe Jackson lover, only because I don't know. I was the 1910s or 1920s. I don't think crime was real then. You can just get away with anything you want because you looked at a different, like you just breathed. That doesn't make any sense, but it's fine. And also, when Barry Bonds dies, I hope they put him in because he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. He was the greatest hitter in MLB history. What are we doing?
Never tested positive. Never admitted to it. Never tested positive. Never admitted to it. Now, you could say, Jorden, he gained like 50 pounds of muscle over like 2 seasons. I say, that's what creatine's for, baby. I'm not natural either. I take creatine. So I'm with you on this one, Barry, in the Hall of Fame. But I do think the Hall of Fame is eligible until Barry Bonds is in the Hall of Fame. Last thing, did you see the Judge missed catch?
He hasn't. Wait, he had one?
He had another one. Would you like to know who the hitter was, Brian? It's against the Padres. I don't know if you know.
Well, Yuli got cut.
It's our favorite catcher, Martin Maldonado. And I don't really know how it like. I don't know how it happened. It just like either he didn't catch it correctly or slipped through his glove or whatever. So you see Martin Maldonado. It really like seriously maybe should have been a triple, but it's Martin Maldonado. So he struggled to get that double. He made it in there in the nick of time, but it dropped out of his glove.
Did he almost get thrown out a second?
I don't. It's not almost, but it was enough where I was like, oh my god, dude, like get to the base. But yeah, it was funny to watch. I don't know if this is like a problem because I've very rarely seen like someone who is so regarded as like one of the better baseball players do that twice. No, the first one was in the World Series. That's just way crazy. This one is, a game against the Padres in the 5th inning. Who cares? But at the same time, that feels like a mechanics issue at this point. So Aaron Judge needs to go back to fielding school. Like, I don't know what the Gruden QB camp for catching is. They need to go to that for catching. That's all the baseball notes I have.
Yeah, hold on. Oh my god! I was watching. I watched the drop that and just falls out. That's dude.
It's crazy.
99% of the world population does not make that catch. 99% of the world population because they don't have the jump off the bat. They don't have the sense for it, and they don't have the height and the skill for it. Still funny.
The thing is, he's also in the 1%.
Oh yeah,
like an Occupy Wall Street protest, he is the 1% we look upon and say it's your fault. So that's crazy to watch. But it's even funnier that's Maldonado of all people to be the guy batting at that point. Who I haven't checked his batting average lately. I imagine the first number is 1. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I've seen enough Martin Maldonado games to know that if it's above a 150, he's doing pretty well, at least for him. I don't know if you'd like to move on to the NBA now.
203, baby.
203.
Woo! It was ruled an error, but still.
Who cares? It's not. Listen, it's a hit in my heart as the official scorekeeper of Martin Maldonado's wins. That's a hit to me, baby. Anytime he can get close to the base, that's all that matters to me. Oh, that's crazy. I'm glad he's hitting 203. Good for him, honestly. Maybe he needed the San Diego.
I'm glad he's
sunshine.
still in the MLB. He's such a good defensive catcher. So that's.
It's and not just that. Like every single pitcher on our team loved him. Like he was Verlander's that's my guy. So it seems like he's just an all around pretty amazing person who just can't hit the ball. Apparently right now he can, but he just can't hit the ball really ever. It's like someone who's emotionally intelligent. Whenever someone like, oh, they're pretty emotionally intelligent. It's like, oh no, but they will fail like a 5th grade math test. So that's the Martin Maldonado way. To the NBA, Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I'm in, dude. I would love to see a Pacers championship. Fuck it. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in.
Why not?
I mean, they play hard. They will go in there and rough you up, which is something I'd always heard about the Pacers and the playoffs. Is they're going to go in there and rough you up. The problem is sometimes you just can't beat the better team. It turns out the Cavaliers are not the better team, even though they were the best team in the Eastern Conference this entire season. So you know what? I'm all in on the Pacers right now. Give me a yellow jersey. I'm in on the Pacers.
Yeah, I have Pacers OKC in my final, and then my Western Conference Finals OKC T-Wolves, and Eastern Conference Finals Pacers Knicks. That's so obvious to say right now.
Yeah.
But I'm saying out of those two being the conference finals, I think it'll be OKC Pacers. And I do think OKC will win it all. Then the Knicks. Man, they get their revenge for last year, I guess. Because they a lot of people claimed that the only reason the Celtics won the NBA championship was because they played a very broken Knicks team, and a fully healthy Knicks team would have beat them. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think this Celtics team, those first 2 games, having historically awful 3-point shooting.
Not just 3-point, just shooting in general.
Just shooting in general.
Yeah, they were historically awful.
They beat
shooting.
This is no hate to the Knicks, but I feel like after those first 2 games, the Celtics lost. The Knicks didn't win, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
they gave both games away, by the way, by 20-point leads or some shit, and then they give them away. But I think this is the Knicks series because our old friend Jason Tatum, who we definitely don't have any history with on this podcast, is
the forbidden episode
is out.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. Listen, I will make fun of Jason Tatum.
He'll be done for the year too.
He had surgery, I think, this morning. I will make fun of Jason Tatum for being Jason Tatum. At the same time,
for being corny. Yeah,
for being corny. The same reason I make fun of Chris Paul, except that's not corny. That's the same reason I make fun of Russell Wilson. But at least Russell Wilson's kind of embraced it. I don't want to see a guy tear his Achilles. That's a shit injury in the first place. So that's just a bad injury. Like I've had like a strained Achilles before, and that sucks. And I can only imagine what a torn Achilles for a professional basketball player. So I do feel badly. Spin zone. If you're the Celtics, you can go, well, yeah, Jason Tatum was out. Of course you guys won. Like we could have come back 3-1. Now,
I think they might have won that game.
Yeah,
Jason Tatum had 42 points that game. Now they were behind, and I think there was 4 minutes left. Could be wrong. And they were down by 6. They could have won that game still. And losing Jason Tatum, who is their best player, it's not going to help you. And now they're down 3-1. So now I think the series is over.
I mean, I would argue that it's down 6 points in the NBA is basically being down nothing. I mean, that's 2 to 3 good possessions in a row. I don't know who was talking about it, but it's like, at what point do you just put in let's say you're beating you put all your subs in because you're losing and they bring it within what number? It's like, well, it has to be like 15 or something. Because like 6 is way too little. At that point.
We almost had it happen to us with the Warriors when they folded that game and they were like, put the backups in, and they got it within like 10. Yeah. And I was like,
well, the thing is, the Celtics have I don't know if this is the correct way to say this, but they have like a great closing speed. Like they'll at the end of the game, they're gonna come get you, whether you're up 15, whether you're up 6. I fully believe as well they probably would have won that game in the end, even though they were down. I'm a believer in the Celtics. I think this was the Celtics series to lose. They lost it, like you said. It was a historic 2 games at the beginning. It's hard to come back from that as well when you're just shoot like I think it was like they were shooting like 28, something like 28 or 35 from the field in general, not just from 3 from the field. It was something crazy.
They went 25 for 100 from 3, and then I think they shot 25%, which is not going to get it done in the NBA. No. And then I think they shot 33% from the field, which is not going to get it done in the fucking NBA.
No. I mean, you got to learn this. So if you're a Celtics fan, you have an out. If you're a Knicks fan, you can say the Pope favors us because we're the Nova Knicks. So we're good here. And I if you ask me who I think wins a Knicks-Pacers series, I want to say Knicks, but I think the Pacers win that just because I think the Pacers.
Oh, I want the Pacers to win it.
The Pacers are an onslaught type of team. They will just wear you down, which is, I don't know. It's fun the Pacers are fun to watch. The Pacers are genuinely fun to watch. I do hope they make it to the finals. I'm rooting for them to make it to the finals. I think I don't want to be like you. I'll probably have to take a different stance, but I think Pacers OKC is the final we're getting.
Oh, I think the Pacers and Knicks are playing for the right to lose to OKC in the final. It's outside of that, OKC. It seems like OKC does this thing where they put in beating on the Nuggets, and then sometimes the Nuggets win. It's a really weird series. I don't understand it. I said last week, this feels like a Greek tragedy where Russell Westbrook either has to kill his old self or himself will be killed. And it looks right now that himself will be killed. That is my prediction for the series is OKC. I mean, we've just said it. OKC goes through. OKC looks better in general. Like, I know they have moments, but even when they lose, they kind of keep it close. Whereas when OKC wins, it's like 140 to 110. So yes. Don't get me wrong. There still is the T-Wolves, but they haven't looked incredible. They haven't looked like absolutely devastating against the Warriors. Even with Curry being out, they haven't completely dominated and rolled them up.
Can I give you my take on that, actually?
Sure.
I think the Wolves are playing down to their opponents. I think they understand that the Warriors are not at full strength. We're not seeing even the Rockets Warriors. We're not seeing the first round Warriors in this. I mean, for obvious reasons. I have Draymond bitching, by the way, about I want to be angry. I'm like, Draymond, you're quite angry. You scare me.
He was called several slurs by fans.
Never mind. I did not know that. I just saw the interview. I was like, Draymond, if there's one person I know who...
I did the same thing. Then the videos came out about a T-Wolves fan while he was on the bike, called him some slurs.
Ugh. Also, not okay. He's no meta world peace. He's no Ron Artest. But if there's one player I'm like not gonna fuck around with for saying anything to, even like, hey Draymond, you're kind of uncool. It's Draymond Green. I feel like he'd punch me. Now, if it's like in the street, probably won't. But if it's in the middle of a game, he definitely will because he's like
emotions run high. Yeah.
Well, he has that thing where it's like, and great athletes have this, but Draymond Green definitely has it. So it's like you turn it on during games, and you can turn it off like elsewhere. Now, like Kobe couldn't. Like Kobe was the guy who was like always on. You have like a Michael Jordan who was always on. We'll talk about him in a second. FanDuel this season is going to be crazy on NBC. But then you have like Draymond who like seems to be able to turn it off outside the court and on the court. Just like, I will kill you or I will die trying, which is something I, again, really appreciate in an athlete. So I find that cool. But yeah, never mind, Draymond. My apologies. I did not know that part of the story. That's on me for doing. I'm spreading misinformation online. But yeah, no, I think the Timberwolves have played down to the Warriors somewhat in this series, and that's why they haven't looked the most amazing team. I do think once they play OKC, they'll step it up. Maybe I go crazy and say we'll have like a Timberwolves Pacers finals. That'd be my prediction.
That'd be fun.
Now. I think that's my prediction. Right. I feel like that'd be a really fun series.
With the way everything's going, unless the Celtics somehow come back, which would be incredible. I don't think it's possible. They play in an hour and a half. I think they're done. It is going to be kind of cool to have some new blood in there. Now, we had Dallas Mavericks last year, sure, but Dallas. Yeah. But it would be cool to see like OKC T-Wolves. Either one of those coming out is cool. It would be cool to see Pacers Knicks. Either one of those is cool. Pacers T-Wolves to me would be my favorite final combination that's left. But I think it's going to be OKC Pacers, which it could be OKC Knicks. I don't know. That I think the Eastern Conference Final might be the most. If it's Pacers Knicks, might be the most fun series of the NBA playoffs, to be honest.
I can take this next part off. It's stupid. Is Indianapolis one of the most overly sports represented cities in America for what it is as a city? Because you have the Colts.
I don't think I disagree.
I know. Because like I think of the other cities that like do really good at sports. Like you think of the other champions. Like maybe you can put Kansas City in there, but I feel like it's only one team. Like the Kansas City Chiefs are the only team in Kansas City that are really killing it. With Indianapolis, you have the Pacers who do relatively well. The Colts who, I mean, for the first, part of our lives were the foil to Tom Brady. The devil. They were the devil to us, but they were the foil to Tom Brady. And then you have like Caitlin Clark and I'm going to pretend I know their name because I totally forgot. I want to call them the Surge. They're not the Surge. I apologize, Miss Clark, for my ignorance. It's the Fever. Is it the Fever? It's Indiana Fever.
Indiana Fever. Yeah, that sounds right. Indiana Fever.
Okay. But it does feel like it's one of those cities where like it's overrepresented in, like you even think of Denver and like, Denver Nuggets won a championship, but it's not like the Broncos can do well, but Denver's still like a really good, it's a big city. It feels like a big city. It's also Indiana Fever.
I remember driving by Indianapolis and thinking like, not Houston sized, not Chicago sized, but like Minnesota size, not Minnesota, Minneapolis size, like San Antonio sized, like a big city because it's just always represented with sports teams and stuff. It was nothing. That in Louisville, I remember distinctly driving from Alabama to Chicago with Neil, and we passed Louisville and we passed Indianapolis, and both times I was like, that's it?
Yeah.
We have small towns out here that have more skyscrapers than Indianapolis does.
And here's the thing. John Green has informed me that Indianapolis is actually a wonderful city. It's
a great city.
But it's no, I don't hate to Indianapolis as a city. It's more like it feels really over like if you have a team, it's like a sport that has like two really good, or a city that has two really good teams, and one team that's not as good but has like the superstar of the league. You're really not thinking like in the middle of Indiana. Like it just feels a little crazy. I don't know. It feels a little. It feels like it's more than you expect. So like Green Bay, Wisconsin, it's a relatively small town. At the same time, it's only got really Green Bay. Like it's the team Green Bay is the only thing that's there. So I don't know. I want to throw that out there because I was thinking as we were talking, it was like if they win a championship, then it's like, well, the Colts have one and the Pacers have one. Pacers, I don't know how many Pacers have won, but I feel like they haven't won that many. Forgive my ignorance. And they have Caitlin Clark, who's about to start her WNBA season. Probably Fever will probably be better this year. Okay, well, this is like a city of what, 100,000 people? I really don't know. It just
that
feels
would
like
be
a small.
Smaller than College Station.
Well, okay, never mind. My bad. It actually is about 900,000, so that's really stupid.
It's that big?
I know that's the thing. It doesn't feel that big.
Well, I felt like it was like 2 miles, and I was like, there it is, and then it was behind us, and I was like, what's this barometer? Like, what? How many miles have we gone since then? And Neil was like 2.5, and I was like, huh.
I'm looking up now. I don't know if Indianapolis is one of those cities like Houston where it's actually way bigger, like the actual
greater area.
The greater area, like well, even Houston's like greater area. Like NASA's still technically almost Houston. And then you have like you go up to like Spring and like Katy. And it's like
I do say that you and I grew up in Houston, Texas. It's so much easier.
That's so much. I will say, looking at, I don't know if this is the full map of Indianapolis. Looking at the map of Indianapolis, that's a very large city.
Oh, did we fuck up? Did we just completely fuck up?
No. I'm talking about like it's like a Houston thing where it's very sprawled.
Okay.
Like
so it's not like it doesn't have the downtown. The downtown's not very big, but the area. That is considered Indianapolis is big. Okay, that's fair. Because I didn't go through it. I went around it.
Okay. Let me see. That's in Noblesville, Indiana. I don't know if that's. I don't know things. Again, if you're listening to this and you're from Indianapolis or have any knowledge of Indiana as like as a concept, please let us know because I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm like looking
at the geography part.
I mean, I'm okay. So I'm looking at a map right now. It does seem like Indianapolis sprawls pretty far from its home base in like the downtown. But again, I don't know anything about Indianapolis other than the Colts and the Pacers. Caitlin Clark and John Green also lives there. I also like how we've spent maybe 7 minutes discussing Indianapolis as a concept. So I don't know. So my apologies to the entire city. I could be. I don't know. In my mind, Indianapolis is like a small.
The skyline that I'm looking at is significantly better than what I remember seeing. Maybe I'm just wrong. I just misremembered. Like that's just a wrong memory in my head. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 buildings that are over 12 stories that I can see from this angle. Oh, there's some more in the back. Okay, they'd probably have 15 to 20. All right, I take it back. Reeling it in. I apologize to the wonderful people outside of Colts fans of Indianapolis.
Well, this is our Colts. This is our team. I just realized we're insulting one of my favorite human beings of all time.
We take it all back.
Yeah, we take it all back. This is our Indianapolis. This is our city. We bleed blue. I don't know what the city colors are. Hold on, let me look up the flag. I'm sorry to the listeners at this point. I apologize. Oh, they actually are blue. It's like actually. Sorry to throw us on a whole other fucking tangent. The flag of Indianapolis is basically the flag of Scotland. It just has like a red star in the middle. And I wonder at the same time, did they just steal the flag of Scotland and put a red star in there? Because it makes no sense whatsoever. Also, I forgot Indianapolis.
Well, Scotland's at an angle.
Yeah.
Scotland's an X.
Wait, who am I thinking of then? I'm thinking maybe I don't know. I'm not very good at vexology or whatever it's called.
Is vexology the study of flags?
It's like yeah, it might be vexology. Hold on. It's
We're just going down rabbit holes.
Sorry,
right now.
it's vexillology.
Vexillology. Okay.
It's the study of history, symbolism, usage of flags. Also, I forgot the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is also in Indianapolis.
The Indy 500.
The Indy 500.
Oh,
so there's another thing there that's like a historic American.
Good for Indianapolis. Good for being so represented. Almost 1 million people. Nice.
Nice.
That's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like 250,000 at the most. Man, I completely misremembered Indianapolis. Whatever. It's fine.
Changing the question here, then we can get off this topic. Not is Indianapolis overrepresented? Is it the most sports-centered Midwestern city in America?
Chicago.
I forgot Chicago existed.
That has a hockey team, that has 2 baseball teams, that has a football team,
a pope,
a
and other things.
Sister Mary,
Sister Jean.
Shit, fuck. St. Mary's, right?
Yeah,
St. Mary's.
No. St. Mary's is in San Antonio. You're thinking of
Loyola.
Loyola, Chicago.
Fuck. I almost had it. Well,
Sister
St.
Mary,
Sister Jean. It sure is Sister Jean.
Mary's a pretty big thing in Catholicism, so it makes sense. We've spent, I don't think.
Listen, I'm rattled about my Catholicism right now since you brought up that Notre Dame lost our lead.
I know.
Okay.
Listen. That's a big 20. That was like 28-3, but worse. That's just my
200 years.
Yeah, 200 years of lead, and then you pick a random guy from Chicago. It's like, oh shit, like Villanova. He loves the Nova Knicks. He actually does. There was an Athletic article about how he loves the Nova Knicks, which you have to imagine if you're Jalen Brunson. You're just like, this is the best thing to ever happen in my life, other than the 2016, which I wasn't really a part of. Okay, NHL time. Maple Leafs tied with the Panthers. They're playing tonight. This is a rough and tumble series right now. I'd always been told playoff hockey was hard, and there have been hard hits. Dude, but Maple Leafs versus Panthers. Also, are the Panthers like super dirty? Is my question, because there seems to be a thing where they're targeting our goalies. They're tough.
That's what I've seen. They're tough.
They're tough, but there's a point where if you're elbowing a goalie in the face, is that tough or is that dirty?
I mean, yeah, that's dirty. But that is the phrase that I've heard thrown around on hockey Twitter. Instead of saying a team is dirty, they play tough, which is like borderline. They don't want to say they're dirty. You don't want to appear soft, so you just say they play tough.
Yeah, I mean, I feel maybe from other sports where like if you elbow a person, like there are people like who was the Dodgers player with the tongue?
Yasiel Puig.
Yeah, Puig. We all knew he was really dirty. We called balls and strikes on that one. We all know Draymond Green's dirty. He's a dirty player. Even to his own team sometimes, if your name is Jordan Poole, which again, good for you, Draymond. I don't like him either because he beat UH. And I think the 2018 NCAA champion, not a championship, the NCAA tournament. But like, it feels like here, like Ekblad is like going around elbowing goalies. And I'm like, okay, well, we need to call this one. Like we need to call a strike here. And just, hey buddy, like what's going on? Like stop. If you want to be Conor McGregor, go talk to Dana White, who probably, I don't know, I feel like he should watch hockey. Does Dana White watch hockey? Dana White feels like he should own a hockey team. I don't know why. That's my thought.
I don't hate that take.
I don't like that take either. I think Dana, if you're listening, Tillman, if you're listening, tell Dana because your family helped him start UFC. But yeah, no, so quick history for Tito's, a gang family, a mafia family in Galveston. This is not like conspiracy. This is just like well-known stuff. And the Tillman Fertitta's cousins, because his mom was Fertitta, or his mom, they aren't Fertittas. I think his mom's side was the mafia side. I don't know. His cousins helped Dana White start UFC. Then they backed out. That's why he's the president now. But that's the connection there, at least. With all that said, Maple Leafs, Panthers, it's a rough and tumble series. I felt like I still can contend, and I don't know if this is correct at all. So Maple Leafs fans, tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like Stolarz is the better goalie than Woll. And man, if Stolarz had not been injured, because I don't think Stolarz is not coming back this series. It's been pretty much like he's not even skating right now, which is really bad. I feel like if Starlars had been the goalie, this would be a very different series, but it's not. You get what you get. Also, Austin Matthews has scored like 8 goals in the last 20 playoff games, so it's not looking great for us. The agenda is continuing against Austin Matthews, where he doesn't perform. He's playing a more defensive role, which feels like something you say like when a guy's not performing that well. Like he's running some really good off ball screens this playoffs. It's like, okay, well, he's not shooting well. He's at 22% shooting percentage. So I don't know, but he needs to get that one together.
Yeah. Onto the team that eliminated me, the Dallas Stars. I don't feel great about that. I'm not happy for them, but they are fucking rolling, dude. And Mikko's so fucking good. He's got 19 points this playoffs, and he leads the NHL in points for playoffs. And I had on our TikTok that we put out, I had a couple Dallas Stars fans being like, it's only your first year. Why don't you jump ship and join the Dallas Stars? And then one of them was like, you're wearing a Texans shirt. There's a team in Texas you could support either. No, absolutely the fuck not. First off, that would be disrespecting the wheel. And that's fucked up. No. I'm not bringing back that bad juju on me. Hell no. The wheel decided, and I stick with the wheel.
The wheel is just.
The wheel is just. Shout out the yak. I am never going to cheer for a Dallas team unless a funny outcome would be the result.
It's like whenever people were telling us to root for the Rangers in the 2023 World Series. Absolutely, no. Absolutely the fuck not. I was hoping for a 4-game sweep by the Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
like no world would I ever support the
shot.
Texas Rangers for anything.
Bring the World Series back to Texas. I don't fuck. We won it the year before.
Yeah. They also didn't support us when we were the ones in the World Series.
They also said, no, we're not going to switch a home and home series with us during a hurricane. Yeah. All right? Fuck them forever.
I'm going to clip
I'll
clip
that city.
This. I'll clip. Oh, I don't know if I'll clip that, but I'll clip this. For Dallas fans, we can never support any team in your city after what you guys did with the Astros after Hurricane Harvey. That was a bullshit move. And I've seen Dallas fans defend that move. That's a crazy thing to do. That's a crazy.
Wow. Sorry, your entire fucking city is underwater and thousands of families are displaced, and you're trying to recover as best you can. Fuck you, play us in baseball still. No, we're not going to give you a home and home switch. Thanks, guys.
I don't care if your grandma died maybe by the railroad tracks. Yeah. No, I like that's an unforgivable move in my opinion. Shout out to the Tampa Bay Rays for being Hurricane Bros. Yeah. That was awesome of you guys.
I have a Thanks weird for soft spot for the Rays. I've had for a long time, not just for that, but I've never hated the Rays.
It goes back to when Joe Maddox Joe Maddox, who was Joe Madden, not Maddox. Joe Madden was something. I like Joe Madden as the manager back in the day of the Rays, and since I was a child, I've liked the Rays. So shout out to them. But to bring this back to hockey, we will never be Dallas Stars.
So randomly, this
is what happens when there's no football. We just go off.
Well, I do have football news, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Perfect. We also need to talk about the NBA lottery draft in a second. I don't know if we want to mention Bill Belichick, maybe not coaching at UNC. We'll never be Stars fans because we just can't bring ourselves to support any sort of Dallas team.
Now, Dallas Star fans, for me at least, you are the bottom of the totem pole of hatred. I don't hate you per se. I hate where you are located, and I hate that you just happen to be in that city. Yeah. But I'm sure you're good people. Rangers fans are top of the list for me.
Yeah. It's like Rangers,
Cowboys fans are right under it. And then Mavericks fans. I felt sorry for you bastards. I felt sorry for you. And now I take it all back.
I mean, listen, here's my thing to everyone saying that the Mavericks, the whole thing was a conspiracy that, was treated by Adam Silver and the boys. Are you suggesting that the representative from Ernst & Young, the accounting firm who had to pay $10 million to the U.S. government for deceiving investors for the defunct Lehman Brothers, who was shut down due to the 2008 financial crisis. Are you suggesting a representative from that group is deceiving NBA fans? I say, sir, don't you dare. Not
How dare
Ernst &
you?
Young. First of all, how dare you? Second of all,
Do not besmirch my name, good
Are you
sir.
are you going to now say Accenture, the consulting firm, are you going to say they're maybe a little morally questionable because they helped deceive some people for Enron, a wonderful energy company, big, as a former Enron Stadium enjoyer myself, are you going to say that Accenture is the problem there? No, so don't you dare suggest Ernst & Young is the problem as well. That's why I say there's no funny business here. The Mavericks just got that perfectly and magically. It's what
They just got the lottery ball.
Oh, it's because the Pope said the word Dallas the couple days before. It all comes back to the Pope. I don't know how this episode's just the Pope. I may just title this like the Pope, the sports Pope, or no ball knowing Pope, comma, and then like
Pope
other
knows
things.
ball.
Pope knows ball, other things. But no, I mean but I actually don't think it's rigged because that would be a crazy thing to rig. Also, how many people would you have to keep that secret from? It's not like at least with like the Bush to 9/11 stuff. At least like the power of the federal government to kill people and like silence people. I don't think Adam Silver, he is Nosferatu, but I don't think Adam Silver has the power to put hits out on American citizens who know like who load lottery ball numbers. So I listen, it's crazy. I'm also like, this is really funny because they're going to Cooper flag. It's the recession. Okay. You know what the tariff said? They can't import white boys anymore. You have to get your own from Duke. And that's what the Mavericks are doing. No more European white boys. Got to get yours from Duke these days.
Jesus. That was NHL, and then it transitioned to NBA. That's all I had on those two sports, though.
Yeah, I think I had more of the NHL, but I've just gone off on so many whims at this point. I don't know if you want to talk about your football notes before
I have quick hitters. They'll be quick. Derek Carr is retired.
Yes.
I'm going to miss him. He was fun.
Is he the best, worst quarterback? Or is he the worst, best quarterback?
No, he'd be the best, worst
quarterback
for sure.
Because I never looked at Derek Carr and was like, wow, this guy's a big hitter. But I never looked at him and was like, wow, this guy's a horrible quarterback.
He's gonna get you to the playoffs. He could get you to the playoffs.
He'll get you a wild card spot.
That's it.
Yeah. He feels like the best. He feels like everyone's last option. He was never anyone's first option.
He never
was like, oh, we have Derek Carr. We have to just kind of have him now. Like the Saints, the Raiders, they were just like, well, Derek Carr's here too, so let's use him.
I believe the stat is he is the first quarterback to retire with over 40,000 yards of passing and not win a playoff game.
That feels for the Carr family, that feels spiritually right.
But that brings me to my next point. Aaron Rodgers now has another team open. He could go down to Nolans. I don't know if he would. I don't know if he should.
How does Aaron Rodgers feel about voodoo? Do we know anything about his feelings on that? It's either said he loves or hates, and I don't think there's any in between in that. Now, obviously,
he's the most fun combination.
Dude, imagine him having to go to the Saints bringing some a voodoo something, and he has to sit there and not be like
tripping out.
He's like, I should be doing drugs and seeing Peruvian elves. That's I should have my crack pipe in the woods right now. I shouldn't be doing this, or he has to drink a hurricane. Imagine Aaron Rodgers having to drink a hurricane. I don't know if you know the red drinks.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. I imagine Aaron Rodgers having to experience a hurricane in general. Do you think he'd shoot at it, or do you think he'd set up a ritual circle for that?
Ritual circle for sure.
Yeah, 100%. So I there are a few teams I really want Aaron, because at this point Aaron Rodgers is no longer a quarterbacking entity. He's that's the funniest outcome as well.
Steelers. Unfortunately, George Pickens is no longer there.
Yeah.
He got traded, but Cowboys, I don't know, whatever, it's fine.
I was gonna say, would Jerry bring in Aaron Rodgers, but he has Dak, and I don't think he can spiritually disconnect from Dak at this point.
No,
because he's
committed.
Dak.
He's in a committed toxic relationship with Dak.
Did Jerry Jones need to go to therapy with Jordan Woods and Bill Belichick? That's the real question.
Speaking of toxic relationships, though, the Bengals are having some trouble. Their first overall pick, Sherman Stewart, remains unsigned. That's not good. And so does Trey Hendrickson, the sack leader for last year, and he's not going to play without a new contract.
I saw that. Whenever the Bengals signed T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, I was like, okay, well, their whole strategy is make Joe Burrow happy. Turns out the strategy also included making everyone else unhappy. So I don't know. Listen, I like Joe Burrow as much as the next guy. At the same time, do you need to like shirk your entire team to make him happy?
I don't think it's him. I think it's the Bengals. I don't think he was throwing a piss party. I think the Bengals were like, we don't want to lose this guy. We got to keep him happy. And he's just like, I don't have a defense.
No, he doesn't have any sort of defense whatsoever right now. I mean, that was their entire thing. Like, let's just like hope. Let's
outscore everyone.
Let's have that. You know, I don't know if you ever seen that image of Ferrari where it's like, you know, you have the offense in the front. It's like the perfect car. The middle, which is like, and you have the back, which is the defense, which is horrible. Just like rusted over, doesn't have wheels. That feels like the Bengals this season. It's basically going to be like 70-point games, 70 versus 70 games the entire season.
Yeah, overs. The year of the over continues. No, that's all. Those are my quick hitter NFL notes. I don't have anything else.
Okay, we can go through schedules next week, just because I don't know if we've had time to study them yet. But I do have one last thing, which is I'm having my dumb coffee, dumb Starbucks mug. The rehearsal, and I'm a week late on this. I put out one of the funniest episodes of all time. It is the most cinematic experience I've ever felt watching television. With Nathan Fielder goes through the life of Captain Sully Sullenberger, and that includes from birth to where he is now, to the Miracle on the Hudson. If you want to go look up, there's a picture of Nathan Fielder sucking from a plastic doll's tits as he pretends to be a baby Sully Sullenberger to go through his life exactly.
Why?
Because that's a Nathan Fielder method. It's the most absurd television I've ever watched in my life, and it's one of the best episodes of television I've ever watched in my life.
Okay.
If this ever blows up, like if Moonstone ever blows up and we get like money to do things, I will basically be doing that. That's all mine. It's gonna be like how it actually is the perfect representation of our Indianapolis conversation, where it went from, hey, it's Indianapolis, you know, about sports to like, oh, let's look at the city hall. Let's look at the flag of Indianapolis right now. So if you have like, you know, it's only 4 episodes in, it's 5 episodes this Sunday. If you have time, please go watch that. It's the most, I mean, every episode, it's the most amazing. They have a singing competition judged by co-pilots of major airlines. There is there's he interviews Paramount Plus in a German castle, or what his representation of a German castle, because they took an episode of his off of Paramount Plus of Nathan for you for off Paramount. By the way, this is about the whole season is about how can co-pilots better communicate in the cockpit.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you if anyone ever has listened to this podcast and like, what is his problem? Like, what's his deal? First off, don't really know, but I just keep trucking along. 2, watch any Nathan Fielder show and you'll be like, oh, okay, it makes sense, because that's like my favorite. That's my favorite comedian of all time, right there. He's never made a single joke. He just talks. So that's kind of my deal. I don't know if you have anything else on the sports world this week.
Nope.
Brian, where can the people find you then?
You can find me across all social medias, Auric Polaris, AuricPolaris, especially at twitch.tv/Auric Polaris. I have been streaming Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate 3 with some friends and a lot of Balatro. I've actually streamed a good amount. I think 6 streams in the past week. So hopefully going to continue those numbers, at least close to those unsustainable numbers, but try and shoot for about 3 a week. Jorden, where can the people find you?
Find me at Jordan's Thoughts on Twitter. I've actually been putting out some bangers lately, according to my, some things happening. Let me Moonstamp Sports across all platforms: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, YouTube. Thank you so much for listening. Quickly, we're playing golf this weekend. We'll see if I release anything from that. It's going to be the dumbest video, dumbest, I don't know, picture of all time. I'm not good at golf.
Collective over under 400.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I haven't
For
tracked
the three of us. For the three of us.
1,000. The thing is, the friend we're playing with, I don't think he's ever played golf. So at least like
He's
think
played
with you,
once. He's swung golf clubs plenty of times, but he has
Okay.
not. He's only played one round of golf. He said
Okay.
he had a good time. I don't know if that's a good thing, but
Good.
I'm like a 115 is my average, so over under 400.
The good thing is I slice right every shot. So I should
Oh, me too.
I should aim to the left. I will never take a golf lesson ever. I refuse to because it's way like unless I'm a professional golfer, which can I say something, Brian? In a safe space at the end of this episode when no one's listening, it can't be that hard to become a professional golfer. Like you just can't. So,
You're an insane person. For
I know.
saying
I
that.
know.
You're so wrong for saying that.
I
I
know.
don't think you've ever been more wrong about anything ever, including Jason Tatum's former affiliation.
Forbidden episode. I'm not cutting this, by the way. No one's ever going to see this.
It's fine.
I feel like if you practice golf every day, it can't be that hard to be a professional golfer.
As a person that has played 1.5 rounds a week for the past, averaging 1.5 rounds for the past 8 months, I have not gotten very much better. So I strongly disagree with you.
Suppose I go hit a golf ball. I'm like, this can't be that hard. Like, what am I? Like,
I'm so excited to see how this goes on Saturday.
No, remember when we went to Top Golf and I was actually like smashing balls?
You and Christian were so much better than me.
I can't. That's maybe it's something in my head where it's like, just hit ball hard with no.
That's fine. Approach and putting is way harder than you think.
But I'm actually a good putter. I don't want to say a single word because I'm gonna look like shit on Saturday.
I am too. If I hit under a 125, I'll be shocked.
This is like playing how I play golf is like how I play fantasy football. By week 7, by hole 7, I'm like, I don't give a shit anymore.
Where am I at?
Yeah, where am I at?
I agree. 7 through the Brooks Koepka interview, 7 through 12, I'm very much just like, and then I realized like, oh, there's only 4 holes left or whatever. Yeah. I kind of want to enjoy. Like, I want to enjoy this. I paid for this.
I paid a crazy amount of money for. Like, it's not expensive. It's just like
it's $50, just over $50.
It doesn't feel like it's not a crazy amount.
It's a weekend rate too.
Well, that's also how much that's like. Less than I spend at the store per week. At the same time, it feels like that feels a little great. Like just golf in general.
You spent 6.5 times that at on a silent auction.
No, I did. Shout out to my girlfriend for fighting one of our friends in the comments on that. That
was incredible.
Okay. Well, again, sorry, tangent. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you listening. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, rate, whatever you can do on whatever platform you're listening to. We'll see you next week.
Stay beautiful.